Hi, my name is Caitlin Mott, and for this project, I'm going to be talking about coral. So, for the introduction, coral is an invertebrate that lives in the marine environment. They're in the phylum Cnidarians and are closely related to sea anemones and jellyfish. Coral are composed of polyps and have one opening that serves as the mouth. They can live as individual polyps or as large colonies. Most of the time, they're going to be in large colonies. Here's some pictures of coral in case you did not know what they look like. So coral's common name is obviously coral. The scientific name is that it's under the class Anthozoa under the phylum Cnidaria. So for the natural habitat of coral, coral typically prefer to live in marine environments that do not fall below 18 degrees Celsius for a long period of time. So this will typically be between like 30 degrees south and 30 degrees north for the latitudinal, the latitudinal. And then most coral actually thrive in very salty conditions, which is going to be 32 to 42 parts per thousand. And they require high amounts of light. So typically you're going to see them in more shallow regions of water. So like you're going to be more throughout here. You can see them as it starts to like dip off and become deeper. However, it's just going to be more sparse, typically due to the sunlight. But so, how corals obtain food, most have a symbiotic relationship with a tiny little algae that actually lives within their polyps. And so the algae uses sunlight to make sugar for the coral, and the coral provides the algae with carbon dioxide. So it's a win-win relationship. Corals also catch floating zooplankton using their little stinging tentacles, as shown in this picture right here. So what it'll do is it'll like pull the zooplankton into its mouth, and then it can digest it from there. As for the predator-prey relationship, coral prey on tiny little organisms like zooplankton. And then organisms such as fish, marine worms, crabs, and snails are actually all predators of coral, and they'll feed on the soft tissue that's inside the coral polyps. And so coral is a hard structure, and it's a hard calcium carbonate skeleton, and that helps protect them from these predators. So that's kind of like their defense mechanism. And then some unique traits of coral. Coral have the cnidocyte cells that have nematocytes that deliver toxins to organisms that come into contact with it. It's going to be like all up here. I like this picture. You can see it very well, actually. Then coral has the gastrovascular cavity for digestion. So that's going to be like right in here. And then anything that touches these little segments up here can get stung. Like this is where the zooplankton will come in and then be drawn down towards its mouth, which is right at the center. And so then here's a tree, just kind of shows you like, sponges branching out first, and then the tissues, and then the cnidarians are the second to branch off. So pretty much all they're going to have is the radial symmetry, which means it's like all the way around instead of the bilateral, which is the left and right. And then we have the importance of coral. Coral provides the coastlines like really important protection from erosions and storms. And it acts as a shelter for a lot of other marine species and plays a vital role in the food web. Coral also supports different jobs that involve fisheries, since coral plays such a big role in actually being a part of the habitat for the fish. Like it attracts so many there that it's an easy place to go to for the fishermen. And then also tourism too, because I mean, they look pretty cool. So that's a lot of income that comes from coral. Nearly half of the federally managed fisheries are actually dependent on coral reefs. So just goes to show that we really do need coral, and it's just so important for the ecosystem just by the coastlines. And then here's my credits, and thanks.